Hi, Namaste. My name is Henry JOLICOEUR, and this is another video about Papaji, one of the last one that I will do for now. And this video focus on an interview of David Godman where he talked about Papaji being a devotee of Krishna. Now we have heard of millions of people that are devotee of Lord Krishna. But in the case of Papaji, he was not only a devotee of Krishna, he said that he was in direct contact with Krishna. Krishna would appear to him and they would sing and dance together. And this went on for years and years. One of the stories that David Godman told me is that when Papaji was in the army, by day he was shooting guns, all dressed in military outfit, and at night he would go to his room. He would put a sari on, put makeup on his face, and he said that he would play with Krishna all night, have some sort of a gopi. Was he really seeing Krishna, or was he delusional, even psychotic? His devotion to the form of Krishna basically came to an end when he met Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi. He went to see Bhagavan and then he disappeared for a couple of weeks. Then he came back to see Bhagavan and Bhagavan told him, "Where have you been?" And Papaji said, "I was the other side of the hill. I was playing with Krishna, doing this and doing that." And Bhagavan told him, "Do you see Krishna right now?" And Papaji says, "No." So Bhagavan told him, a God that appear and disappear is not really God. So that's when Papaji basically ceased to be a devotee of Lord Krishna and became an Advaita, accepting the self as being the ultimate truth, not a blue God appearing and disappearing. There's some great lesson here to be learned by the millions of people who are devoted to Lord Krishna. There's many organizations like the International Society for Krishna Consciousness that have tens of thousands of members that truly believe right now that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the God of the God. They even believe that Krishna lives on a spiritual planet that they call Krishna Loka, and that if you become a pure devotee of Krishna, at the end of this incarnation, your soul will be transferred to that spiritual planet where you will play with Krishna eternally with the gopis and the spiritual cows. But here Bhagavan seems to tell us that Krishna and all the other gods in the Hindu pantheon are not the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is ultimately impersonal. It is Advaita. It is the self.
However, his Krishna conditioning was still quite severe. He wasn't willing to give up his addiction to the form, so he didn't bother to stay in the ashram. He went off to somewhere near Adinamle, that's on the other side of the hill. He said he found a nice little place where he said, I meditated for close to 2 weeks on Krishna. Krishna appeared, I played on the mountain with him, we had lots of fun, we had a great time together. And then I thought, it's time to go back to Chennai, Madras in those days, I've got this job to do. But I'll just say goodbye to that nice old man on the sofa. He gave me a very good experience. Plus, he was feeling in a very boastful mood. He thought, I know for a fact that I've been seeing Krishna for 2 weeks. I bet that man on the sofa hasn't seen him once. I'm going to go in and kind of boast that I've been seeing Krishna every day for 2 weeks, say goodbye, and then I'll go off to my job in Madras. So he comes in again, and Bhagavan's obviously, been thinking about him, wondering what happened. And Papaji very boastfully says, he said, where have you been? I haven't seen you. And Papaji said, I've been on the other side of the hill playing with Krishna. And Bhagavan feigned, surprised interest. Oh, he said, really, do you see him now? And Papaji said, no sir, I do not. And then Bhagavan said, a God that appears and disappears is not the real God. And that kind of annoyed Papaji even more. He'd come there looking to show off, coming to tell Bhagavan that he'd been playing and dancing with Krishna, and Bhagavan didn't even value his experience. He said, if you are attached to phenomena, even if those phenomena are visions of gods, then you're not actually seeing God, because if a vision appears and disappears, that vision cannot possibly be God, because God is the permanent underlying substratum of all that exists. Until you become established with that substratum, you're not knowing God as he really is.